Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Is this on? Yeah. All right. So this weekend, this weekend, or this Sunday for today, I just felt like we should keep the conversation going for the discussions and the talk we had for the past 2 weeks with Jim Kwan and David Young. And for this week, I just wanted to keep that going and facilitate that at least. And I would also like to share some of Father's words and the first son, Hyojinim's words together before we do that, okay? Okay. So usually we talk about like a lot of intense stuff and think very high tone content. And I always feel like we should also be sometimes very chill and like take things a lot more easier. And we have to be very efficient on that. I feel like a lot of the times, like when we talk, we always talk about something very heavenly, very absolute, very intense, and we always kind of get burned out. So I just wanted to share some of the things that it would be nice for us to look forward to in the future. So. Is this
pointing towards the back?
No.
Forward, right?
Forward? Right.
It's not forward. You got receiver on it?
Oh, okay.
I see.
Okay. The text might be small, but as long as you can follow along and you may read together with me. All right, so this is by Father. All people should have a hobby. In the future, people will not have any food problems. Then would just spend your time fighting with each other. Everyone needs to have some fun. You should ride a boat in the river and be friends with the fish by diving into the water world. You have yet to do these activities. This is why I'm creating the term hobby business now. Interesting, right? Up to this point, have we ever taken a vacation in Unification Church? From now on, all the well-equipped places that I have prepared, such as the fishing areas, hunting grounds, and swimming pools, all of these should be used. I have made a foundation for you to have vacations in the warmer areas when it is cold, in the cold areas when it is hot. The time has come now to do so. This is what is referred to as the hobby industry. I have climbed up to this position by receiving much persecution, but you will not be persecuted. Now, if you go to South America, where I've already prepared the foundation, and if you take responsibility, you can bring your tribe there and train them. All the families in that country and the ancestors in the spirit world can become one based on that tribal foundation. So that's kind of interesting that Father talked about how we should kind of travel around the world and spend good time together, but also he kind of connected that with tribal messiahship. And then for me, that's like, oh, that's kind of interesting. It's not like, forcing somebody to believe in something and try and, in a way, trick them to do something that we're doing. We share time together, we have good times together, and in that becomes in itself a process for us to grow together and walk together and create a kingdom of heaven on earth. And I am going to share Hyunjin-nim's speech. It's based about time. This is like a record, so whatever the content may be, it's very informal because he's kind of talking along, but if you can follow along, that would be great. On my last trip to Korea, I went and met somebody that I really didn't like. I have my reasons, but I'm not going to get into it for you. But I really did not like this guy. He is, in every sense of the word, being snakish. That's about it. But he is struggling with malignant cancer, so I went to see him. And I told him, hey, just drop it all. And he was repenting and was trying to say a lot of stuff. I told him, you don't need to say anything. Let's just edit here, forget it, and move on. And I will do my best to find more courage in myself to forgive you. When you think about time, how long do you think you're going to live? 100 years? Are you going to live 100 years? 120? 200? We all know that most people spend 2/3 of their life doing something other than work, right? Most people sleep 7 or 8 hours a day. You go from point A to point B, and that kind of stuff. Waiting, hygiene, eating, gossip, whatever. Take care of business, whatever, studying. All gone. Even if you live 100 years, you've got about 30 years to work to try to do something. What are you going to do? Why is the concept of time so relevant to us? It is literally held to our head like a loaded gun, and we're supposed to learn about eternity, right? Love, eternal love. How do you take something that has no time constraint and put it into the frame of time? That is the greatest paradox, isn't it? So when you think about love, what do you think about? What do you want? Something that lasts forever? What is that basic stuff? To me, time is about studying. It's about going to a class. Okay, whatever, 101 will start at 9:30, one at 10:30. It's that stuff. Time is about learning something. It's about studying. As I grew older, that's what I felt. The moment that I said, let's forget about this, when I met that guy, I realized, why the hell did I hold all this hatred if this was inevitable? Without the concept of time, I would not feel what I felt, the learning that I felt in my heart. It wouldn't be something to me. It would just be a concept that would go in one ear and come out of the other. I felt it. Some things God wants you to feel, that's why you have time. Because it's important to feel something, and that feeling should last forever. Why? Because that's the basis of what you are, what we are, what God is. And from that, we can grow forever. We all have somebody to connect to, and you find that somebody to love. You should pay attention to those moments. There are some things that in the end will be inevitable, whether you like it or not, that you must learn. I know that you don't have time, but take time. Take it easy. Some things are inevitable. Don't rush. We have to learn. We're learning. Life is about learning. Short, thank God. He just wants us to learn about the basics. The basics, if you can give, if you can take, if you can love, if you can forgive. Basic things. There are things that are inevitable, whether you like it or not. You'll learn before you die. And if you do, you are the fortunate one. Okay? Time. Yes, it seems long sometimes, especially when you're miserable. And of course, it's the opposite, and it's too short. Life in itself is too short, okay? And it's about learning the basics. You've got plenty of time because that's what I believe. Life is way too short for me here. A lot of stuff is happening, but who cares? I'm going to leave it behind. That's about it. No matter how much you build, no matter how much you do, take that time, make that moment count when you feel something. I know some guys here wanted to be missionaries for the rest of their lives. That's beautiful. Giving is better than taking. We all know that. We'll try. And I'll be graded, just like you. Okay, take care. So, when I read Hyojinim's words, and I kind of really respect him in a sense because he's the first son of the true family, and he's the one that was basically, I guess, the closest to the true father in a way. He saw everything, what he did, what true father did, and I felt like he was able to digest a lot of the giant, enormous content that true father has been giving us. And he's like the middleman to us, or to me at least. And I feel like, there's a lot of things happening around us, but we should just figure out and make what we're doing count. Let's make that moment count. So today, I thought it would be nice for us to, of course, we're going to keep the conversation going and know about each other a little bit more. And, because we talk about a lot of ginormous stuff, but someone said that, maybe it would be nice if we get to know each other what we do outside of, Sunday service. So today, I thought it would be nice to have 3 different questions to talk about, but they can be their guidelines. The first question is, I thought it would be nice if we can talk about one good thing that happened this week and one challenge that happened this week as a starter. And from there on, we can describe about what our daily life is, pretty much. What do you do every day other than, Sunday? So you go to work, or do you stay at your house and do chores, or do you study? Do you, what's your hobby? Those kind of stuff. It's very low key. I feel like it would be really nice for us to have a low key conversation. And the last question would be, where do you see yourself at the end of this year, for example? Like, we just started our Lunar New Year, and it'll be nice to kind of think about where we might be at the end of this year, and how we might, or where we want to be, or what I want to do, or how I look at it for this new year. So yeah. So do you think it'll be nice if we mix up?
I forgot to mention that.
Do you think?
I forgot to mention that today when we talk, Yoshitaka and I were talking that it'd be nice to let the Japanese members meet together every once in a while so they can speak freely in Japanese with each other. So today we're gonna do that. So we're not gonna do by generation. We're just gonna I want to give the chance for the Japanese members to meet here, and everybody else who speaks another language, we can meet in the function room, okay? And you'll be here. I've got the questions, so we'll just take that moment to share. I think his question about where do we want to be at the end of the year is a great thing to think about individually, as a family, and as a community. So on the count of 3.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, did I say the function room? I bet.
Hello. Okay. All right. Seems like everyone's excited and kind of really warming up together. I feel a lot of energy. That's great. That's what we want. That's what we need. And I heard that David Settle walks his cat, which is amazing. I don't know how you walk a cat like that. That requires, like, you can't discipline a cat to do something like you want, and like it follows him. It's like, that tells me a lot about David now, because like, it takes a lot of effort to have a cat like you. You know what I mean? So David must commit a lot. You know what I mean? That tells me a lot about David, and it shows him in a different light. So I guess before we finish, is there anything that, I don't know, just I guess from each side, should we share something that we found out about someone? I heard from Catherine that we didn't. Oh, sorry, that was my fault. So should we share something from each side, at least one thing that we found out about someone that was kind of interesting?
Besides David Stalwalker?
Yeah, I mean. So for our side, I found out that Mr. Ono, the other Ono, Hidenori's father, likes Korean drama, and he always spends the night watching Korean drama, which is great. And Mr. Yonetani. Mr. Yonetani does work, but he also needs to care about his health, so he walks around his apartment several times, and that's how he kind of cares his physical fitness. I don't know, anyone else? No. But anyways, I heard that on Catherine's side that you guys weren't able to talk about like what we should do for this year, and we didn't either. I thought maybe it was too soon, so but now that we kind of warmed up together, and we should keep this up, and I feel like that'll be a great way to naturally find out what we should be doing together. So that is, I guess, my sermon? I don't know. Please join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Parent, thank you for this time. Thank you for this day that we were able to gather together as brothers and sisters Today we were able to be given the opportunity once again to have a conversation, to get to know each other and who we are and what we do and what we feel, and to have that opportunity to acknowledge what we feel, Heavenly Parent. I feel that the most important thing for us to know and to study and to keep growing is to become like you. And Heavenly Parent, you are always growing forever and ever, and you always keep learning about us. Please, I feel a tremendous amount of love from you, and that you're always interested in listening to others and how I feel and how everyone else feels. Please let us inherit that heart, and together we love each other and care about each other and accept each other. Regardless of some of the setbacks that we might have, we do not have to worry about that. We should take time to understand each other as much as it is necessary. Every moment counts. I offer this prayer in the name as the son of the Koishikawa family, as a blessed central family. Aju.